Who's here? I can't even see. Somebody comment and tell me who you are, because I don't know. I don't know why my comments aren't appearing like they should. I'm poking the screen trying to get the comments to pop up, guys. I don't know what in the world. Okay. I don't know who and I was watching because apparently nobody's commented yet. Hey, what's up, Thomas? Trying to fight with my band making station here. There we go. What's up, Chad? Butler Outdoors. I don't know you, but what's up? Or at least I don't think I do. It has been a while since I have done a live video, and it is raining cats and dogs outside, and I need to restock on some bands, so we're going to make some bands. No. Everybody's probably... Well, Chad, thank you for letting me know who that is. Where is my rat gum? There we go. Anybody use band taper templates? I've got 10 templates. And that I use in various tapers. The tapers that I use are, I've got a set number of tapers and all that stuff. Yeah, I need another template, don't I, Chad? Yeah. Quick shout out though, for anybody that does wrap and tuck, these right here from Sniper Sling, these are wrap and tuck strip templates, or if you want to do straight cut BB bands, they also work really well for that. It's a 5mm wide strip, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 that you can hand tying strips with, and man, they are awesome. I'm a huge fan of this. Great little piece of kit. But I've already got some bands that are pre-cut that we're going to be tying, but I also want to make a few band sets from, I got a 10-meter roll. I hadn't had any issue with mine, Hawk. I've had mine for close to a year now. Or no, Lord help, close to 2 years. And I've not had any issues out of mine, knock on wood. But I'm going to go, first off, I got some 0.45 GZK green. I got a 10-meter roll of it. Yes, I did change my name. That's something that when I got back into slingshots back in the early 2000s and hopped on the forums, everybody knew me by my forum handle, Appalachian Flip Shooter. And that I decided to go back to name-wise for the channel, just because, you know, I am probably one of the most proud Appalachian Americans. I love Appalachia. I love where I live. I love the Appalachian culture and Appalachian community. And so that is why I changed my channel name back to my original and current forum handle. So if you guys are on the Slingshot Community Forum or the Slingshot Forum, you will find me there as Appalachian Flip Shooter. I'm not as active on the forums as I used to be back in the day, simply because, well, the old original Slingshot Forum now, it kind of just died when Jorg got out of it. Now, there's still some guys on there, and it's still a great resource for old school info and things of that nature. But the Slingshot Community Forum was very, very active. I was very active on it up until just a couple of years ago. It was on Tapatalk, and then Tapatalk did some kind of upgrade or something happened that caused everybody to lose access to the forum on Tapatalk, and the website, I'm sorry to say, is not all that great. So, you know, that's just kind of how that cookie crumbles. But this 0.45 GZK, I don't know if it has always been this way, because it's been years since I've used any GZK bands at all, and I never used 0.45. But this stuff has an 800% elongation. I mean, it is just nuts at how far this stuff can stretch. I'm going to show you. I'm going to cut a piece that is 1 inch long. Okay. That is a 1 inch long piece of GZK grain 0.45. Now watch this. That stuff stretches like crazy. 800% elongation, Chad. That means that a 1 inch piece will stretch out to 8 inches. And it is just, you know, a 1 centimeter piece will stretch out to centimeters. It's just insanely stretchy. And my usual tapers, I usually cut my bands at 190 millimeters long, total length. And I use 10 millimeters for wrap and tuck. Gotta scoot my chair out a little bit here. Use 10 millimeters for wrap and tuck. And then where have all my pouches gone? Are they in this bag? Oh, it's insane at how much the stuff stretches. It's crazy. And that's why I'm going with this big. I'm going to make a set with a 2318 taper. Here we go. And I'm going to make a set with a 2216 taper at 190 just to see which one I like the best. Yeah, most of our modern slingshot bands that we have today, they've got an elongation factor of in between 600 and 700%. And that's why I don't know if maybe GZK changed up something in his formulation. It still looks the same. It's the same color, whatever. I just don't remember it having an elongation factor this high. And so rather than cutting my bands super short, I'm just doing a bigger, more aggressive taper to get the same feel that I go by. I do a mixture of both with bands as far as the how I go about, you know, finding what I like best. And one thing that I do is I do have a general length in mind, but I also um, I go by feel a lot too. I want to, I want to know how it feels, or feel, or I say know how it feels. I want to feel it, and I like not like a recurve bow stacking up, but I like to feel a little bit of a wall, a little bit of resistance when I get back to full draw is nice for me. It's what I like that. I don't like bands that feel like I can keep on stretching them forever and ever. I like that little bit of a wall. Um, and so, with most brands of band, especially just for now for 10 meter shooting with 8 millimeter steel or even 9.5, you can get away with a very light taper, and I mean a very light taper. Um, I have used, and I'm actually going to be tying some of them up here in a few minutes. I have used a 1612 as just a general purpose taper for 8 millimeter steel, but I have also used a 1612 as a 10 meter taper for 9.5 steel for 10 meter knockdowns. And I do that because the knockdown machine that I have, I got it from Nathan Masters 4 years ago, I believe it was, and or going on 4 years ago. And it's one of the good ones. It's one of the precise automatic resetting target systems, electronic target systems. And if you hit the targets on that system with a ball that's moving too fast, you can and will knock the target back down and it pop back up. We had that happen at the SEST a few years back when it was still going. And there's a 2318 band set. And what I like to do, just to give myself an idea, is I'll actually hold it right there on my thumb and just draw it back just to see what it feels like. Oh, that feels good. Yeah. Yeah, that feels really good. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And those bigger tapers last longer too. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but those bigger, more aggressive tapers, they'll last longer. So when you got a band like this that does that, that has that high elongation, it really works out in your favor to use those more aggressive tapers. Now, 2318, it's not really something I use a whole lot. Now, this right here, a 22, let me flip it around where you guys can read it. A 2216 taper is a wicked, wicked taper. I have actually hunted with a 2216 taper and 8 millimeter lead. I leave a little bit of a space, Hawk. I don't snug it up super tight to the pouch. I don't find that that's necessary. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me to put more tension right there next to the pouch where it's going to be the more abrasion. I feel like, and somebody smarter than I am about this stuff. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like more abrasion closer to the pouch gives you less band life, which, I mean, I get it that, no latex is going to last forever. It's eventually all going to break down. But sorry about that. I got a text message from somebody. But anyway, latex is going to break down regardless, but I see no need in shortening the lifespan of it even more by tying your knots super close to the pouch. That's just not something I'm a fan of, not something I have ever really been a fan of. And so, it's the old Sniper Sling Black, Andy, or the new Sniper Sling Black? Because I have opinions on both. The new. Okay. The new Sniper Sling Black, honestly, no offense to Sniper Sling or anybody else, but in my hands and just what I think, let me move that up out of the way, I cannot tell a difference, honestly, between it and Simple Shot Black. I can't. They are both very, very consistent bands. As a matter of fact, at the ACC, Moan and I were talking about this very thing. Is that here, Hawk? I'll show you a little bit of. See, I don't snug it all the way up to right there. I do leave a little bit of space. But it's a Sniper Sling Black's good. There's nothing wrong with it. Simple Shot Black is good. Simple Shot Black is an excellent latex. As a matter of fact, I've said this before, and it's worth repeating. Simple Shots 0.5 is probably the best band, the best 0.5 that there is on the market. I don't care what anybody says, and I keep on getting texts and Facebook messages and everything else. Now the old Sniper Sling Black. Okay. Yes. That stuff broke. And it was notorious for breaking at nothing. All right, I understand that. But I also think Simple Shot 0.4 is great. I love Simple Shot 0.4. I love 0.5. There are a few brands of latex that I hope to never be without just because I like them. And that is BSB White 0.45. I love it. And Simple Shot Black 0.4 and 0.5. I love those. And probably going to add GZK Green 0.45 to that list because this stuff there's a 2216 set. Oh, that feels good too. That feels just as good as that 2318. So awesome. All right, now then. Let's see, where are my band strips? I think, yeah, that's Omega White and a 2212. That's not what I'm wanting right now. Here we go. I had some that I cut up. The cyan, I tried some of the Precise cyan when it first came out, and I was not impressed. You can go back through my videos. I did a band speed test on it. I did Precise cyan, Omega White, and Simple Shot Black 0.5, and I was just not a fan at all of Precise cyan. It was insanely slow. Now the Omega White in warm weather, Omega White is fantastic. Now I did a cold weather test on it, and when I do a cold weather test, I'm talking about below freezing. Yeah, now if you shoot long draw, long draw is a different it's a different animal. It's a different story entirely if you shoot long draw. Um, 6. Okay, I'm gonna make 3 of these 16 to 12 BSB band sets right here. But yeah, long draw is just a different animal. Now, what I will say, as far as where are those? Oh, I'm crazy. I just remember where I had stashed those pouches at. Here we go. So you can see I knew good and well that I had pouches of all kinds, just a matter of finding them. That's my Leviathan pouch that I like to shoot for. I like it for 8mm, but it will shoot 9.5s as well. But I 22-14 with 3/8 almost maxed out, only getting around 270, 280. And what Hawk, what elongation was that, or what length was that? And Chad, I have not tried the green in the cold, but what I was saying is when about that cold weather. Thank you, Chad, for reminding me. Is when I do a cold weather band test, it's cold. Like I'm talking about, 20s, mid to low 20s, teens. That's a cold weather test for me. It's really, the kind of weather that nobody's going to be shooting a slingshot in. Except, people cut them at 280. Yeah, so you're getting them out there. You're getting them long. And Chad, try the Simple Shot 0.5 long draw. I'm telling you, that stuff is wicked. But anyway, when I tested it, I believe in that cold weather test was Simple Shot Black, Sniper Sling Black Gen 2, and then Omega White. And the Omega White was something like 30 or 40 feet per second slower than the others were in the cold. And, shooting targets, that's not going to matter. But, that's, and it may have been, unfair to the band itself because of the temperatures that it was in. But, like I said, if I'm going to do a cold weather test, it's going to be cold. But now, what I was saying a minute ago, I keep on getting distracted. BSB white, if you've, imagine if Simple Shot Black was white with just a fuzz. I'm talking about an infinitesimal almost difference between the feel of the draw. For me, BSB 0.45 has just a slightly smoother draw than Simple Shot 0.4, and Simple Shot 0.4 is a very smooth band. So that's just my main reason that I like BSB is because it's white and it gives good contrast against a dark colored frame, and that's why I like using it. And by the way, if anybody's wondering, these band jigs are awesome. Simple Shot selling them now. Omega's been selling them. Man, they are awesome. Awesome. But no, I'm a big fan of BSB White, Simple Shot Black. But now Sniper Sling Black, the old formula. I want to go back to that because that's very, very interesting. What they did with Sniper Sling Black, and I don't know how they did it, fancy forceps. I got some from Walmart, and what I did is I ground the teeth off with a Dremel tool, put a piece of 1632 up here and a piece down here, and then I took a piece of bigger tube and slid it over the 1632 just where it would last longer. I've not put new tube on this in probably 3 years. And, you know, it's not no metal poking through, nothing like that. But what Sniper Sling Black did, and this is why I think that it's worth revisiting, is they took a 0.5 band and gave it the same draw weight as a 0.7 band. We all know that thinner latex retracts faster than thicker. But there was something about the way, because it was fast. That stuff, as a matter of fact, I've still got some of it. I've still got some of the Gen 1 Black, and I even sent Min Mao a message asking him if he had any more of it left, because I wanted it if he did. I was able to take it and shoot 8x11 baby beans out of it, just like I was shooting them out of 0.7. I mean, but it was awesome. Didn't last long. You better have a spare band set with you, and and be ready for it to snap. I never got over 50 shots out of a band set, but God have mercy. For those shots, whatever you put in the pouch came screaming out the other end. And I really think if the band life issue could have been addressed with that, I definitely think that there's a market for something like that. For the thin band with a heavier draw, there's definitely a market for it. But the band life issue would have to be addressed before it could move on, before it could be, really considered something right. But what's the setups you guys are shooting? Anybody and everybody. I don't know who's still here and who's not. Oh no, it's not a double bottom jaw hawk. It's just a with a regular forcep with a piece of tube on the end of it, or big tube, I should say. It's made here. Like having them on hand. I'm gonna have to put them. What did I do with that latex? No idea what I did with that whole stack of latex. I don't know. Anyway, 22 to 14.5 Omega White and cyan. Yeah. Like I said, that Omega stuff, I tell you, that Omega White, when I did the speed test on it last year, it was summertime. It was right around the time they first came out with it, I'm pretty sure. And that stuff, man, Lord have mercy. It just kept, it was getting faster in the speed test. And I was very, very impressed with it in warm weather conditions. Oh, yeah, 22 to 12 with 0.4. I've got that in there backwards. I love a 22 to 12 taper. In colder weather, I usually shoot a 2012, just for my general purpose plinking stuff with like BSB or Simple Shot Black. But when colder weather starts coming and I start to, my shots start to drop off because the cold is affecting the latex, I bump that taper up to a 22 to 12, and man, oh man, it is great. I really, really like that taper. Really like it. And doesn't last very long, but man, it works. It does, it does. And I'm hoping to be able to do some work on my, and I've got some Sniper Sling Yellow .4 Hawk, and I forget what the elongation on it is now, but that stuff, man, it seems like it stretches forever. Um, Good band, nothing wrong with it. Um, I just wish that there was. I don't know why it is that most every company, you've really and truthfully, you've got, you know three options, for colors with bands, and I don't know why this is, but it seems like it's either white, uh, green, or black or yellow. Though it seems like it's some shade of white, some shade of green, or you can get Andy. You can get awesome speeds with a 28-inch draw, man. Cut those bands hot, and as a matter of fact, I have been known to get more speed out of things, or just to see what it would do. What's up, Bazzy? Um, there's a lot of the times that I'll cut bands with the width of a roll instead of cutting them to length. Um, yeah, I got two 10-meter rolls of GZK. This is a .5 yellow or orange, and that other one's a .45 green. But so there we go. I got 1, 2, 3 sets of BSB white .45, 16 to 12, which is actually a taper that Nathan Masters turned me on to. A few years ago, the last year we had the SEST, he was down here. Nathan has tennis elbow, and he was having to mess around with tapers and things of that nature. And he had brought a bunch of Simple Shots pre-made .5 bands with him, and he was using the small end. And I started doing some math and figured out that the taper on that would be a 16 to 12. And I've been using it ever since. I love it. 16 to 12 is a great taper for target shooting. I mean, you can even get some pretty decent distance out of 8mm steel with that kind of taper. Really, really good. Like I say, I really enjoy that taper. Um, and but I am very, very excited to try these. That is a 2216 of GZK green .45 and a 2318. I'm curious to see. I may speed test those just because I'm curious to see what the speed difference would be with having just that little bit of extra rubber in the system that 2318 taper gives. Because that's just, I don't know how to figure it out, what the total amount of rubber in the latex is, but it's one more number on the wide end and two more on the narrow end. So what I think it would be the same as either a 24 or a 25 mil straight cut. I think would be the same. So yeah, I'm really curious to see. Matter of fact, where's a pen? I'm going to mark what these are real quick where I don't get confused. Yeah, I got them labeled now where I'll know what they are. But yeah, I would, Hawk. I'm not ignoring your comment. I actually saw it. I just don't know. Yeah, blue bands. I would love to get a blue band of some kind. I've got. I don't know if y'all remember when this came out. That's that .2 stuff that GZK came out with a while back. What's up, Sketchy? And great stuff for 1/4 inch or 17 caliber BBs. And I've actually got some of the old Celtic Caddy blue somewhere over in my stash over here, my latex stash, but I don't have much of it left, so I don't use a whole lot of it. But yeah, I would love to see a a blue band of some kind, um, and just some colors other than white, yellow, green, or black. I mean, we've got that in every. I mean, you just think about the yellow bands that are out now. BSB has a yellow. GZK has an orange/yellow. Precise has a yellow. Sniper Sling has a yellow. And I'm sure there's some that I'm forgetting. And then you go to greens. Precise has a green. GZK has a green. Omega has a green. Sniper Sling has a green. Sobong has a green. Gong Chi has a green. I mean, everybody's got green. And most of the time, with the exception of Precise and Sobong and the GZK translucent green, there's something like this as far as color wise. And then, you think about white bands. GZK's got a white. Seashoe has a white. Wayne Martin sells the Great White band. GZK, I already say GZK, I already said GZK. But I mean, there's just white, 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 and then black. Black is all over everywhere. GZK's got a black. Sniper Sling's got a black. Simple Shot's got black. That Pinyao or whatever brand it is has a black. I mean, there's just black bands everywhere. Sobong has a black. And now, I tell you what I miss. I miss the old. I would love a red latex in a lighter thickness. Most red bands you have, if are 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, that sort of thing. If Wayne Martin from Caddyshack, if he ever made a .5 or even a .4, .45, or .5 in his red shot band, I'd buy half a dozen rolls of it. That's one of the most awesome hunting bands I've ever used. But the orange would be awesome. I know Precise used to make an orange band. Samiki now makes an orange band. Their .4 is a shade of orange now. It used to be red. Used to shoot it a lot, but then they quit making it in red. They changed the color and changed the feel of the band. Um, Pink is another rare color that we don't really see in bands, other than 100% slingshot, and nobody's getting that anymore stateside, I don't guess. South Wales Caddies, they've apparently quit, gone under or something. I don't know. Um, but Samiki is the only pink band that I know of that's readily available to everybody, and that's the .45 pink. Um, which, now, let me tell you, that stuff might look like bubble gum, but it is one of the fastest .45 bands that I have ever used in my life. That stuff is wicked. I was shooting 3/8 steel with it, in a 2012 taper with no issues whatsoever, shooting flat out to 20 yards. I've got some of those bionic pheasant head targets, the spring loaded things, and I set one of those at 15 yards, and then set one. I've got my catch box at 10 meters, and then I set that one of the pheasant heads up at 15 yards and another one up at 20 yards. And I would take it time about shooting from my 10-meter spot in my workshop where you guys have seen me before. But I would shoot the 25, the 40, and the 12.5 millimeter spinner, and then I would shoot the 15-yard pheasant head, and then I'd shoot the 20-yard pheasant head, all without changing reference points on the frame. I mean, I'm talking about right there, using the corner of the fork, just bam, 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 no issue. And let me get that back up here. This is a frame that not everybody sees a lot of. This is the first clipped wyvern frame that I ever made. It's not finished, as you can see. It's got tool marks all in it, scratches all over it. But for whatever reason, in my hands, this thing, it's just awesome. And yeah, I've thought about, going back and let's see a side profile view of it there. G10s, some stabilized white oak, and some black micarta, with a white G10 liner. I've thought about going back and finishing it out all the way, but I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess up the juju. And no, I have not, Squatch. I have not made any frames in a hot minute, to say the least. It has been a minute. I've been trying to get stuff, with spring here and warmer weather. We got some projects that we need to get done here around the house that my wife's been on me to do for a while. So I'm working on getting those done, as well as working on getting the shooting range done. Raising kids, and it's a lot, man. And I hadn't been. One thing I need to do is clean my workshop out. It is a nightmare in that thing. I need to clean it out and get more organized and get everything fixed in there where I can actually go back to doing some more building. But one thing that I'm really, really enjoying now, and I won't forget you, Leon. I won't forget you, I promise. One thing that I'm really enjoying doing now is making custom, or more, maybe random is a better word instead of custom, making random patterned HDPE slabs. HDPE is everywhere. We got our kids a swing set the other day, and it came with this really cool dark blue slide that's HDPE. And I told my wife, I said, as soon as they outgrow this thing, or tear it up, quit using it, whatever, I said, I'm taking this slide and I'm melting it down to make slingshots out of. But it's in milk jugs, soda bottle caps, HDPE is everywhere. And upcycle it, use it to make slingshots out of. And some of you have seen, or maybe you haven't seen, my pink tiger wyvern that I made. It's a 90 millimeter wide wyvern. I'm going to make another one of those in a 95 millimeter. Because I can shoot anything from 85 to 95 millimeters wide short draw without changing my anchor point. I actually plan on doing a video on changing widths by changing where you grip your ammo instead of where you do your like my usual grip. Let me see if I got a piece of ammo here that I can show you guys with what I'm talking about. Okay, so my usual grip, this is a piece of clay, so just bear with me. My usual grip is right there. And it puts a little bit, I do put a little bit of a speed bump on it. That's how I taught myself how to shoot. I learned how to shoot that way. And it's the most repeatable spot for me. What's up, Robert? And 95 millimeter is my best go-to, but I can move that from here on my finger, from right there in back of that first knuckle. I can move it to my fingertip, or up here in between, like ATO shoots, in between my first and second knuckle of my finger, and I can shoot anything 85 to 94 there. And Leon, I'm embarrassed to say I did not ditch them. I actually lost them. And when I get around to cleaning my shop out, I'll probably find them, because I had them cut out and made sitting on my table where my laser is. And I don't know if one of my kids got in there messing with it, if I did something in there looking for something or what, but I cannot find them. So, like I say, they're probably in there in the shop somewhere. I can actually show you. Let me see. I may have one of the first ones. Yeah. Here's one of the first ones that I did. That is microfiber, and I did the pits myself by heating up a ball bearing. But it's that marine canvas on the back, laminated with microfiber. And they hold up great. They have virtually no stretch to them. But shooting them, it's like holding on to a 2x4. They are stiff, and it takes forever to get them broke in. When I say forever, I'm talking 200 plus shots easily to get them broke in. And also, now I will say, this marine canvas stuff, it's great for grip. It's also like, shooting a pouch with 120 grit sandpaper. It is rough, and it will tear your fingers up. Oh, that's what you like? Unbroken pit pouches that make your fingers raw? Man, I tell you, I've got some pit pouches here. Matter of fact, I just got these in from Omega. And I like to use them when I shoot something a narrower frame that I grip in between my first and second knuckles here. I like pit pouches, but when I'm shooting right here behind that first knuckle, as you guys I don't know if you can see that or not, I've got a callus built up there from shooting so much. I do not like anything stiff. I want something. That's what I love about these, that Leviathan pouch. What I love about it is, 5 shots and it's broken in and it's ready to rock and roll. But no, guys, if you hadn't already, I'm going to ask you, please smash the like button. And if you hadn't subscribed to the channel already, please do that as well. And, let's do some, it's coming up on, I know that the competition season has already kicked off with the ACC a few weeks ago. I was hoping to get to go to the ECST this year, but I'm not going to make it this year. We're actually doing something for my family, doing something for my little boy. My little boy is autistic. I don't know how many of you have ever met Benjamin, but he's autistic. And he does not like birthday parties. The crowds, they freak him out. He just does not like it. He likes to be, quiet in his own little space. And his favorite store on earth now is Buc-ee's. He freaks out about Buc-ee's. So they're opening the biggest Buc-ee's in the state of Georgia the weekend before his birthday. And we are going to take a little trip, I think, 2 or 3 day trip down to the coast of Georgia. I've never been to the coast of Georgia. I've lived here all my life for nearly 36 years and never been to the coast of my own state. So I am going to, I say me, my wife, and my mom, we're going to take him on a little trip and go to the Big Bucky store for his birthday. And that's going to happen the same weekend that the ECST is happening this year. So unfortunately, I won't make it again this year. Uh, I am, though, eventually I will make it back. I want to be able to actually compete. I wasn't able to compete the first year that I went because my son was born on Friday night, on June the 4th. And so I had to leave early that next morning, threw all my stuff in the back of the car, and drove, I think it was 13 hours one way from Pennsylvania to Erlanger Hospital in Chattanooga. Um, but hey, family comes first, guys. I love shooting slingshots and I love to compete, but family's family. Oh, but anyways, well, guys, I appreciate you for hanging in here with me this long. Um, I think it's kind of embarrassing that it took me, you know, almost half an hour to make 5 band sets, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out of here. Later. Well, there we go.